Communication is indispensable to life. Most of us here are second language speakers, and we might have difficulties in communicating with others. I was one of the people who had a hard time sharing my opinions when I couldn't speak English as now. But I realized one thing. The most important thing in communication is to try to convey our feelings. Now, let me show you an example. Since we are all in an international school, all of us might have experienced some problems in our school life about the differences in languages. You might have had the trouble of not being able to say exactly what you wanted to say. And some of you, native English speakers, might have had the experience of struggling to make yourself understood. I have experienced a lot of conflict on the barrier of language. I am Japanese, and of course, Japanese is a suitable language for me to express my feelings. When I speak in Japanese, I can say exactly what I'm thinking in my mind. I can say that I am my most honest self when speaking in Japanese. But of course, I need to speak in English for the most of my day in school. Since I am a second language speaker and my range of vocabulary is less than native speakers, there were a lot of times which I couldn't step forward and express my thoughts. Now, hands up here who have ever experienced difficulties in communicating in another language. Thank you. Not only the languages, but cultures were also different among my friends, and I had a time which I couldn't talk by heart to all of them. It is hard to think back when I started to stop worrying so much about the differences in languages and countries. But now I can open my heart no matter where they come from. There was a change in my mind when I saw a Japanese comedian performing around the world on TV. He is a comedian who makes jokes by using language. And it made me surprised when I saw him performing his comedy to some foreigners. How could he possibly perform the same as he does in Japan? This is what I thought when I first heard the news. But a shock ran through my brain when I saw him performing abroad. Instead of using words, he used gestures, expressions, and all the body languages that he could use to communicate with the audience. And the audience understood. At that moment, I felt that the spoken words were not the only way of communicating. He created a mood which brought out the laughter from the audience. It is the feelings and the emotions that you want to communicate which are the most important things, and not the actual mode of communication. I think when people talk from their heart, we can all understand their heart. We can share laughter, we can also share happiness. As I reflect, I have uncountable memories of experiences of being blockaded by the language barrier. But all of them were the experiences that made me stronger. I would like to thank all of the people who have helped me on this journey. Today, my best friend who I can share all my opinions with and rely on is a foreign friend. I can say from the heart that nationality doesn't matter. Spoken language is not everything. If you speak from the heart, then the emotions and the feelings that you are trying to express will be understood. Coming abroad, attending international school made me overcome the language barrier, and I'm sure this challenge will be my strength in my further life. Thank you.